Today we will crochet this tote bag. It has a unique pattern and shape. This handbag or purse is perfect for daily use. It is very easy to make and this is a step-by-step tutorial for beginners. The written pattern and the timestamps have been linked below in the description. Hello and welcome to Let's All Crochet. Thank you for clicking on the video. If you are new, please consider subscribing for similar crochet tutorials. For this project, we are going to need about 200 grams of any medium weight yarn. You want to make sure that it is a sturdy and stiff yarn. So I am using 100% acrylic yarn in maroon color. You can pick any color that you want. We are also going to need 2 sizes of crochet hooks, a 5mm or an 8 size crochet hook, a 4.5mm or a size 7 crochet hook. We will need a scissors, measuring tape, tapestry needle and stitch markers. Now let's begin. So we are going to begin with a slip knot and you can make this however you want. So now we are going to use a 5mm hook for the main pattern of the bag. We are going to chain 56. So to chain, we are going to yarn over and pull through the loop. Yarn over and pull through the loop. So we have made 2 chains, 3, 4 and continue till you have 56. I will meet you once you finish. So now I have finished making my chain. I have chained 56. Let us begin row 1. So we are going to make 2 half double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. The loop on the hook does not count as a chain. Skip this first chain, skip the 2nd chain and in this 3rd chain we are going to make 2 half double crochet. So to make a half double crochet we will yarn over first. Insert your hook into the top loop of the V. Then yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops on a hook. We are going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So this is our first half double crochet. In this very same chain we are going to make 1 more half double crochet. So yarn over again and go back to the same chain. So you can see this is where we have worked. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops on a hook. We are going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So now we are going to make a half double crochet in this next chain. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. And in the same way, we are going to continue making 1 half double crochet in all the chains till we reach the last 2 chains. So I will meet you once we reach the last 2 chains. So as you can see, I have reached the end and I have only 2 chains left. Now we are going to half double crochet 2 together. So we are going to yarn over first, insert our hook into the 2nd last chain, yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. We are going to yarn over again. And now we are going to jump to this last chain. So insert your hook into the last chain, yarn over and pull through. We have 5 loops on our hook. We are going to yarn over and carefully pull through all 5. So we have half double crochet the last 2 stitches together. So let's move on to row 2 now. We are going to begin with a chain 2. 1 and 2. And now we are going to turn our work. So this chain 2 is not going to count as a stitch. So the loop on the hook does not count as a stitch. This is our chain 2. Chain 1 and chain 2. So this is also not a stitch. Now this V is the first stitch that we are going to work into. We normally work below both the loops of the V like this. Now we can see 1 loop is facing us and 1 loop is facing away from us. This is the back loop and we are only going to work in the back loop from row 2 onwards. So we are going to begin row 2 with a half double crochet 2 together. This is our first stitch. We are working in the back loop only. Yarn over first. Insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops on a hook. We are going to yarn over again and now we are going to the next V or the next stitch. insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over and then pull through. We now have 5 loops on our hook. We are going to yarn over and carefully pull through all 5. So we have half double crochet 2 together. Now from the next stitch, we are just going to make half double crochet in the back loop only. 1 half double crochet in each stitch till the very last stitch. So yarn over. This is the next V that we see. Insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. So if you can't see the stitches clearly here, we will just turn and see the V so that we are sure we are working into only the back loop. So I will meet you once we finish this row at the last stitch. So I've reached the end of the row and this is my very last stitch or the very last V that we see. To make sure you're working into the right stitch, you can just turn your work, and this is the first half double crochet that we made in this row. And now we can see that this is the last stitch of the second row. In this very last V, we are going to make 2 half double crochet in the same stitch. So yarn over, we are going to turn over the work so we can see the V clearly. Now this on the side is our chain stitch, and into the last V, into the back loop, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. This is our first half double crochet, and we're going to go back into the same chain again. The same stitch again, yarn over, go back into the same stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. So we have ended with 2 half double crochet in the same stitch. Now at the end of row 2, we are again going to count all our stitches. We are going to have the same as row 1, which is 54. The stitches will remain the same in all the rows from now on. Let's go to row 3. We are going to chain 2, 1 and 2 and then turn our work for row 3. Now in row 3, we are going to start with 2 half double crochet in the very first stitch. So we know the loop on the hook is not a stitch. These 2 are our chain 2, which does not count as a stitch, and this V is our very first stitch. In the stitch in the back loop, we are going to make 2 half double crochet. So yarn over into the back loop. This is our first half double crochet, yarn over and into the same stitch. And this is our second half double crochet in the same stitch. Now, just like row 2, we are going to make 1 half double crochet each in all the stitches into the back loop till the very last 2 stitches. So we are working only into the back loop and only 1 half double crochet in each stitch. So I will meet you at the last 2 stitches where we are going to half double crochet 2 together. Reach the end of row 3. I have worked in this stitch. I have 2 stitches left, this V and this V. On the side is the chain stitch. So we are going to half double crochet these 2 stitches together. Yarn over first, and we are working into only the back loops. So insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, and now we are going to go to the next V. Insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over and pull through. We have 5 loops on our hook. We are going to yarn over and carefully pull through all 5. So make sure you don't miss any loops when you're pulling through all the 5. At the end of the row, we are going to count all the stitches. We are going to have 54. Now remember, this half double crochet 2 together is going to count as only 1 stitch. And in the very first stitch, we have started with 2 half double crochet in the same stitch, and each of these will count as a stitch. Hey guys, I'll be very grateful if you can like the video because this will help it reach more people. So let's continue. So from now on, we're just going to continue repeating row 2 and row 3 for pattern for the rest of the bag. You will notice that all the half double crochet 2 together stitches lie on one side and all the increases lie on one side. So it is fairly easy to remember. So now we're just going to continue repeating row 2 and row 3 till we have about 15.5 to 16 inches. So you can see I have placed my measuring tape straight and I have measured from the bottom till the top of the bag. Now it's going to be slanted like this, and that is what we want. So I will meet you once we finish all the repeats. My slip knot dies at the bottom left and I have finished at the top left. Now this is the right side of my work. Let us move on to the little triangles. Before we move on to the next part, we are going to cut the yarn and pull out a loop. So leave about 4 to 5 inches of the yarn and cut it. Pull out a loop by tugging on the hook. So I have already made one of the small triangles, and let's make the next one together. So for the small triangle, we are going to begin with a slip knot again. And next we are going to chain 2. So yarn over, pull through once and twice. Let's begin row 1. The loop on the hook is not a chain. Skip the first chain, and into the second chain we are going to make 2 half double crochet. Go back to the same chain. This is the end of row 1. Let's begin row 2. Chain 2. 1 and 2. And now we are going to turn our work. So it's a little difficult at first, but it gets very easy. So remember, the slip knot is right at the bottom here. We can also mark the first stitch with a stitch marker in every row if you want, as well as the last stitch. Now let's begin working in this first stitch. The loop on the hook is not a stitch. This is our chain 2 that we made, does not count as a stitch. And this V that we see is the very first stitch. We are going to make 2 half double crochets in the back loop only. One. Go back to the same stitch. And 2. And in this next V, which is the last stitch of this row, we are going to make 1 half double crochet into the back loop. So in this triangle also, we are going to be working only into the back loops. And we can always mark the first and the last stitch with a stitch marker, like I said, so it is easy to remember. Row 3. Begin with a chain 2. Then turn the work. The slip knot is at the bottom. We are going to work across like this. So begin working in the first stitch. We are going to make 2 half double crochets in the back loop. 1 and 2. And now in the next stitch we are only going to make 1 half double crochet in the back loop. We are only working into the back loop for all the stitches from now on. And into the last stitch of the row we are going to make 2 half double crochet into the back loop. 1 and 2. So from now on, the rows are going to be somewhat same and very easy. So I've just marked my first and my last stitch with a stitch marker, just to show you if you want to mark it too. Let's go to row 4. We are going to chain 2. Turn the work. Now once we turn, into the first stitch, we are going to make 2 half double crochet into the back loop only. And now we are going to continue making 1 half double crochet in all the stitches till the very last stitch. In the last stitch, we will again work 2 half double crochet into the same stitch. Sorry. So now I have reached my last stitch. Insert your hook. Make 1 half double crochet and 2. So we can just move our stitch markers up to the last and the first stitch as we work. So let's begin row 5. We are going to chain 2 and then turn the work. So now the rows are going to remain pretty much the same. So I'm going to tell you how to work all the rows from now on. So in this first stitch, we are going to make 2 half double crochet in the same stitch, working of course into the back loop only. Now no matter how many stitches till the last stitch, we're just going to make 1 half double crochet in each stitch. So every row till the very last stitch, we're going to continue making 1/2 double crochet each. And now I have reached my last stitch. I have marked it with a stitch marker, so it's very easy. Remove it, make 2/2 double crochet in it. And if you want, you can mark the first and the last stitch again with a stitch marker. From now on, we're going to continue in the same way. For row 6, we're going to chain 2, turn our work. In the first stitch, make 2/2 double crochet in the same stitch. Continue making 1/2 double crochet till the very last stitch. In the last stitch, we're going to make 2/2 double crochet in the last stitch. Row 7, do the same. We're going to continue making rows till we reach row 15. So I will meet you at the end of row 15. So once we reach the end of this triangle, we're going to cut the yarn, pull out a loop, just like we had done before. So in this very last row, if I count all my V's, I have 29. So in exactly the same way as the first triangle, we're going to make another triangle. So we're going to make 15 rows in all, and in the very last row, we are going to have 29 half double crochet. So I will meet you once you finish this. So now we are going to make the handle. Begin with a slip knot. Now we are going to chain. So we are going to chain 212. Yarn over and pull through. 2, 3, 4. Continue till you have 212. The reason we are chaining so much is because we are going to start the handle at the bottom of the side, and you will see how we are going to attach it. So I will meet you once you finish all the chains. Row 1, we are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. We have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both. This is a single crochet. Single crochet in the next chain. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. We have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both. Continue making single crochet in all the chains till the end of this row, and I will meet you there. So I've reached the last chain, made a single crochet in it. This is the end of row 1. If we count all the single crochet, we are going to have 211. The stitch count is going to remain the same in all the rows. Row 2, we are going to chain 1. Now turn the work. So once we turn our work, we are going to begin working in the very first single crochet. Loop on the hook is not a stitch. This is our chain 1 stitch, and this is our first single crochet. So insert your hook into the back loop only. Here also we are working into only the back loops for all the stitches till the last row. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. We have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both. So in this row, in all the stitches, we are going to continue making back loop, single crochet. So insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through both. Continue till you reach the last stitch. Now reach the end of row 2. If we turn our work, we can see the last single crochet clearly, so make sure you don't miss it. This is our chain stitch, and the last V is the last single crochet. Into the back loop, we're going to make the last single crochet of the row. And if we count our stitches, they are going to be 211 again. Let's go to row 3. Row 3, 4 and 5 are the same as row 2. We are going to chain 1 and then turn our work. The loop on the hook is not a stitch. This is our chain 1, and this V is our very first single crochet. Begin making single crochet in the back loop. Continue till the very last stitch, and I will meet you there. I've reached the end of row 3. Make sure you don't miss the last single crochet. Turn your work to see this last V clearly. This is our chain stitch. So insert your hook into the back loop, make a single crochet. The stitch count remains the same. Now we are just going to repeat this row 2 more times, row 4 and 5. So I will meet you once we finish all the rows. The stitch count will remain the same. So now I have finished all the 5 rows. Once we finish, we are going to leave a very long piece of yarn, about 40 to 50 inches. I will write the exact on the screen if you like. And we are going to cut the yarn and pull out a loop just like we have before. So this is my entire handle. Let's move on to the last part. So now we are going to begin joining all our pieces. We are going to place this big piece as shown in the image. Now this is the wrong side and this is my bottom chain. So now we are going to bring our 2 stitch markers. Beginning from this first stitch, we are going to count exactly 27 stitches and place the stitch marker in the 27th stitch. Now we are going to go to the top and starting from this end, which is the same end that we started from below, count 27 stitches and again place your stitch marker. So I will meet you once you finish placing your stitch markers. Remember that this is the wrong side. So now we are going to fold this piece in half. Now this is the top edge. I have counted my stitches and added the stitch marker. This is still the wrong side. Bring the bottom edge up. So we are just going to bring it up and fold it in half like this. Once we fold it, this is what it's going to look like. We want to match the stitch markers. So I just want to show you this is what our bag looks like after folding. And remember, now the right side is facing us. So at this point, we are going to weave in all the remaining ends and we are going to attach this first small triangle onto our bag. Now this is the right side of our triangle. This is the bottom chain 2 that we started with and this is our very last row. So I've just placed the small triangle onto the bag. This is the right side of the triangle. This is the right side of our bag. On the inside, this is the wrong side. This side is the right side of the bag. And now we are just going to place this triangle. So this bottom edge must be placed here. And this is our last line, which is going to be on top like this. So now we are going to attach this piece onto this larger piece. Now remember, we are going to sew on the wrong side. So that means we are going to turn our work and we are going to sew on this side. So now we are going to take a 20-inch piece of yarn to sew the triangle onto the bag. Now we are going to sew on the wrong side. So we are going to fold the triangle like this. And now we are going to close on this side. So we are going to start at the stitch marker. So in the stitch after the stitch marker is where we are going to start attaching our triangle. Now make sure you place the triangle exactly so that this end lies on this end and this end lies next to the stitch marker. So now I don't want to work into these stitches or this chain that we see. We are going to work into the back. So we are not going to insert our needle into this first chain that we see. Just turn a little bit and insert the needle into the back. So let me show you how. So take the needle, insert it into the last stitch here. And we're not going to go into this loop that we see. We're going to turn and go into this other loop. Now tug. If you want, you can make a small knot here. We will weave this yarn in later. So you can close whatever way you want. This is how I am doing it. So now we are coming to the first side again. Insert your needle into this last stitch like this. On this side, we are not going to go into the very first loop here. We are going to go into this back loop. So insert into the first side, into the next side, into the next loop. So continue in the same way till you reach this end and I will meet you there. So I've finished closing to this side and once we open this, so this is what it is going to look like right now. We're going to weave in both this end and this first end and remove our stitch marker. And now we are going to move on to the other side. So in the same way as the first side, we are going to place the second triangle on the second side. This is the right side of our work. This is the right side of our triangle. We will then fold the triangle like this. This is the wrong side and this is the inside of our bag. We are going to start sewing from this end till this end. Now remember that we are going to sew only in the back loop. So the front loops will be visible on top here once we finish sewing. Weave in all the ends. Let's move on to attaching the handle. So place the handle on the bag as seen. So this is the wrong side of our bag and this is the wrong side of our handle. On the other side is the right side. So we are going to attach the handle on the wrong side of the bag and the handle. Then we will turn it to the right side. Remember, on the inside of the bag is the right side of the bag. So what I have done is, I'm going to start sewing at this end. I have added a stitch marker here. You can add another stitch marker here if you like. So we'll sew from here till here first. Now we'll just come across like this and turn the bag. So once we turn, we are going to sew this side of the handle with this side of the bag. So we'll start at this end, join the handle and the bag and come all the way here. So you will see that the handle has been joined to this side completely by the time we finish. You can go through as many loops as you want. I'm going to go through both the loops on this side and both the loops on this side so that the handle is attached in a sturdy way. Tug on the needle. Go through the next stitch and the other side as well. Tug. So continue in the same way till you reach the end. So once you reach the top here of the bag, I will meet you there. So I had started at this end and now I have reached this end. So now we are going to go across. So with the tapestry needle, we are going to insert it just like we are weaving it in and go across. Now pull the needle. Don't pull too hard because you don't want to distort the shape of the handle. Now we are going to flip our bag over because we want to close the other side. So we are going to take the handle and place it against the side of the bag. You can add stitch markers if you want. And from the top we are going to begin closing. So insert your tapestry needle at the top edge and then we are going to tug. So now we are just going to continue sewing in the normal way till we reach the bottom end. So once we reach the end, a small opening is left. We are going to sew across, join on both the sides to close that, and then we are going to weave the yarn ends in once we reach the start. So for the other side, we are going to do it in the same way. We'll start sewing with a 40-inch piece of yarn. Start at the bottom here, go upwards. Once you reach the handle, you're going to go across. Then we're going to go back downwards. And then we're going to go across. Once we reach the start, we're going to weave. For the border, we're going to use the 4.5mm or the smaller hook. So turn the bag inside out now after attaching the handle and we're going to make a border for this. So we're going to make the border on the right side of the bag. So we will begin working the border at this end here. Single crochet across till here. We will make a decrease stitch here. Single crochet across till here. Make a decrease stitch here. Single crochet around the handle and then come back here, joined by a slip stitch. So we are going to attach the yarn into this very last stitch. Insert your hook into the chain or the stitch. Then catch the yarn in a loop form. Pull it through. And now we are going to chain 1. And now we are going to single crochet in the same stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. We have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both. So we are going to continue making single crochet 1 in each stitch till we reach the center of the bag. So I will meet you once we reach the V. So I have reached the center of the bag. I have made a single crochet in this stitch and I have 1 more stitch left. So we are just going to skip this very last stitch, jump to this next stitch that we see. This is the little triangle that we have attached. So in the very first stitch, we are going to make a single crochet. The other thing we can do is single crochet 2 together here in the skip stitch and this 1 stitch that we just worked into. And now we are going to continue making single crochet till we reach the handle. So in this corner stitch, we are going to single crochet 2 together. Insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull through. Go to the next stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. We are going to yarn over, pull through all 3. Now from the next stitch, continue making 1 single crochet in each stitch till you reach the handle. So now I have reached the last stitch and the handle. And again we are going to single crochet 2 together. So insert your hook into the last stitch, yarn over, pull through. Insert your hook into the first stitch of the handle here, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. Now we are going to continue working into all the stitches of the handle till we form a round and end where we had just begun. So make 1 single crochet in every stitch. This will give a nice finishing to the handle and it will make it sturdier. So I will meet you once we finish. So I've single crochet all around and reached the start and we're going to join by a slip stitch to this first single crochet. So I'm just leaving this last one stitch unworked. Into the first single crochet, this is our chain stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, and then pull through the loop on the hook. So now we are going to leave 4.5 inches of the yarn, cut it and then pull out a loop, and then we will weave the yarn ends in and turn the bag to the other side. So once we finish this first side border of the bag, we will just turn the bag around. The right side is still facing us, and for this other side as well, we are going to make a single crochet border. So I will meet you once you finish. It's exactly the same as the first side. So if you want, you can attach your lining to the inside of the bag and the handle. Your bag is now ready. Thank you for watching. I would appreciate it very much if you can like, share and subscribe. Now here are some more videos you may enjoy.